Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jennifer Bento-Pinion. I'm here at MEFA on the college planning team as program manager for MEFA Pathway. And today during our session, we will focus on the college compare tool within the MEFA Pathway site, one of many great tools. But today, during our mini webinar series, we'll be focusing on the college compare tool. So just to give you a little background on MEFA Pathway. MEFA Pathway was launched back in June of 2017 as a direct replacement of Your Plan for the Future. So some of you may have been familiar or used Your Plan for the Future at your schools or with your students. But again, this MEFA Pathway has replaced Your Plan for the Future. It's changed quite a bit if you are familiar with Your Plan for the Future. So we're excited to offer this great resource free to all students, families, and educators across the Commonwealth. So just to give you a little synopsis, MEFA Pathway is a complete college and career planning resource for students, counselors, and education policymakers across the Commonwealth, and is offered to all middle and high schools in Massachusetts free of cost by the Massachusetts Educational Financing Authority. MEFA Pathway plays a key role in the Commonwealth's efforts around college and career readiness and success by increasing access to information about higher education and career opportunities for all types of students. So Pathway provides access to academic and professional success to learners in grades 6 through 12 across the Commonwealth by setting each student on a path to college and career success. So rather than a one-size-fits-all approach to future planning, MEFA Pathway is tailored to meet the needs of the Commonwealth's diverse student and workforce populations by offering comprehensive tools in one easily accessible website. So again, today we'll focus just on that one little piece of the site, the college and career college compare tool. So just to show you though, it's how simple it is to register an account. Before a student has access to that feature, they need to create an account. So very simple. As a first-time user, they would just click on, go from that main landing page, mefapathway.org, click for students, and then they'd be brought to first-time user page, a student login. They just click register here, and they would fill in their first and last name, their date of birth, the city or town the school is located in. So for example, let's just put North Chelmsford in here, and then a corresponding list of schools that are located within that town would appear. If you're a non-traditional student and you're not attending a high school, you can just put the town that you're in and then click other. So you can still have access to the website. So you fill out this information on this page, you click submit, and then the page following this, the student creates a username, a password, and security question. So the security question is used for if the student forgets their username or password, so they can reset by using either the security question they create or by the email address that they provide. So one of two ways to retrieve that username or reset that username or password. Okay, so I'm going to use my test account and log into the website here. So if you already have an account created, just merely put in your username and password, and then you're logged in. So we're going to focus under the search for colleges tab here. So I'm going to search for colleges. So before the student does a college comparison, you may want to steer them in the direction of using the college search and building a college list prior. They don't have to do that, but it kind of gives them a little, before they're doing that comparison, it's giving them a little bit of background on some of the schools that they may be interested in. So the college search is very simple to use. As you can see, there are over 7,000 undergraduate schools and programs that are found within the site. The student can put the criteria that they'd like to look for in a particular school on the left side and generate out a list. So just for example, I'm just going to click region here. So it will narrow down the list of all the schools that are in the Northeast. So now we're down to 858 schools. So from here, the student can click on a school that they want to look at further, get information on that school, and then add to their college list. So just for an example, if the student wants to look at this Allen School, just for an example, we click on that, and then they can get the information that they're looking for on the particular school and save it to their college list. So once they start saving schools to their college list, this is what this looks like here. So just clicked on the college list, and if we scroll down, you'll see all the schools that the student has added currently to their list. So they have quite a few here. They can favorite any school, and once a school is favorited, it then appears on their digital portfolio here. So we have digital portfolio, and then the schools that the student has favorited. All right, so this brings us to the college comparison. So the college comparison is great for students to use when they're actually starting to build out the list of schools that they're going to apply to. So it can really help them hone in on those target region safety schools. So there are a number of ways that students can select schools that they'd like to compare. They can either select them from their college list, they can browse through all the colleges in the website, or they can search by college name. I'm going to select schools through my college list. So the student can select up to 5 schools to look at side by side. So I'm just going to click on my college list. And now I'm going to select from all of those schools that have been added by the student and now appear on their college list. I'm going to select 5 that I'd like to look at side by side. So I'm going to look at, let's see, I'm going to get a good variety here. I'm going to go Fairfield University. I'm going to go University of Central Florida. I'm going to go UMass Lowell, University of Tampa. I'm thinking warm thoughts here. And then let's see, let's go to, let's add BC as well. Okay, so I think that's 5. Let's see. So we're finished adding. Yep, we have our 5 schools. Now what we can do is add our preferences. So when a student adds their preferences to the comparison, this is where it really helps build that. It will show whether a school is a good fit or a good match. So let's set my preferences. So this is the selection of preferences that we have here. So for example, maybe we want to select schools, maybe we don't have a preference for the state. Maybe we're going to get our bachelor's degree. We want a school maybe that has 7,000 to 14,000 students. Maybe we want a school that's in an urban and or suburban setting. Tuition we're going to leave as is. Admission difficulty, let's say moderately difficult. Let's go GPA 3.0 to 3.5. Let's leave the ACT. Let's leave the SAT. Okay, so now what we're doing is we have set our preferences, and we're going to keep all of these pieces of criteria checked off, and we're going to check use my preferences so that the set preferences that we selected here are used within the comparison. So now we're going to click show comparison. So we selected our 5 schools, and you'll see them appear across the top here. And then going down on the left-hand side, we see all of that criteria. So we have key factors, undergrad information, financial information, academic information, and test scores. So as you can see here, the preferences we selected the setting, the size, the admission difficulty, undergrad info, and then the academic info as well. So now based on the school's requirements, you'll see that if a box is shaded red, then a school doesn't match up 100% to that, between the student's preferences and the school's requirements. So let's just look at Fairfield here. So Fairfield has a very difficult admission admissions difficulty, whereas the preferences at the student second was moderate. Let's see if we match up GPA. So the student's GPA is between a 3.0 and a 3.5, and Fairfield requires a 3.48, so they do meet that. So you can just go across the board and look at the schools and see where, whether or not they match up. So Fairfield, although it doesn't match up in a couple of areas, it may be a match because of the GPA. So, that may be a target school for the student. So as you can well imagine, you can do any number of combinations here. You can remove a school from the comparison and add a different school. You don't have to put in 5 schools. You can put in 2 if you like. You can also save a particular comparison. So if you want to save this comparison, just click save. And then I like to date them. So let's see, today 5/15/18, and we'll save that. Okay, so very simple. So you can go back if you like to show a particular comparison. As you can see, this one that we just saved, we can, it's just showing on our screen now, but we could go back to that, or we could load one that was set previously. So again, a very useful tool for students to build out their list of schools that they're actually going to apply to. So great for students to use towards the end of their junior year, certainly the beginning of their senior year, when they're really deciding on which schools they're going to apply to. So great. All right. I thank you for joining today. And like I said earlier, I will leave my contact info on the screen. So here's my contact info. And if you would like to get in touch with me, certainly do. If you have any questions, if you're an educator that is interested in using this great resource at your school, again, it's free of cost. There's not one penny involved. Just get in touch with me. All right. Thank you and have a super day.